right, LET4s. Today we're going to talk about something called feedback. We're going to go over this. This is going to be kind of a quick class. And I want you guys to see how feedback is important to the people you're teaching and learning. In fact, that's our essential question, is how can you give effective feedback to people you're teaching and learning? If you remember when we talked about communications in your LET1 year and since then, one of the aspects of communication was, if you remember, it was formulate the thought in your mind, tell the person, they take it, they process it, and then they give you feedback to let them know, to let you know that they understood what your message was. Exact same thing here. When you're going to use effective feedback, feedback is you letting the person that you are talking to, you are teaching, know what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, that they've understood the message, that you understand that they don't quite understand it. Okay? So we're going to talk about how we use feedback in teaching. How to give effective feedback. And we're talking about how to help your less experienced cadets. So on the parade field or on the drill pad, a less experienced cadet you've been working with for 3 weeks fails to execute your commands correctly. What do you say to the cadet? So we've been out there working on stationary drill or even marching drill. And you're out on the drill pad and you've been working with this person for 3 weeks. And we'll say you call, they call them left and they go right. Or they're not executing a salute properly. Anything along those lines. What do you say to them? Sometimes you'll look at them and you'll just, what we say to people is often just as or more important or what we show them. If they do their salute wrong, what you don't say is, oh my God, why are you so stupid? You're an effing idiot. Okay? I put these examples out there because I have seen LET4s and LET3s do this. There's a couple of our LET4s that have a problem with this already. Oh my God, why aren't you getting this? Somebody else teach this guy. What kind of message do you think you're giving to that cadet? Guys, I'm going to tell you straight up, your feedback and your information, the way you talk to these new cadets, that is a key reason why cadets drop out of the program. Okay? You've got the way you present your feedback to them is super important. All right? Treat them like human beings. Don't treat them like they're dog poop. So think about what you know about giving feedback. How do we give it? Why do we give it? So we're going to talk about why feedback is important in the learning process, the characteristics of effective feedback, the basic ground rules and tips for giving effective feedback. And just remember, this is Unit 4, Lesson 1, Chapter 1, Lesson 3. This is the last chapter in the last lesson in the first chapter. So what makes effective feedback? Guys, just jot down some quick notes. What makes effective feedback? It's got to be, in my brain, it's got to be relevant to what you're teaching. Telling somebody, oh, you're an idiot, is not helpful. Okay? Look at them and go, hey, you know what? This is what we need to work on. And then take the time to work with them on it. Giving insults or doing things like, hey man, come over here and look at this guy and watch how he's doing this. That could be taken two ways. That could be taken as, hey, I need help. I can't quite put my finger down. on what he's doing wrong, or, oh my God, can you believe this guy's this stupid? Come look at this and laugh with me. That's the kind we don't need. All right. But it is okay to call somebody over and tell them, I can't quite put my finger on what you're doing wrong. Hey, man, can you come over here and help me? Different types of feedback. Why is it important to give effective feedback? First of all, you guys are mentors. Y'all are coaches. Y'all are the leadership this year. These other students, especially the LET1s, they're looking up. They want to be you in a few years. They're looking up to you. Okay. It's like when you're in kindergarten and you look up the seniors as they come through the high school in their cap and gown. You are what they strive to be. So you're a mentor and a coach. You're like a parent. Okay. Look at your leadership roles. Same thing. And always project or process improvement. How do we do it better? Look at your AAR. So we want to give them good feedback on how they're doing. They can get feedback from themselves and they're going, oh, I know what I did wrong. And how many of you guys have seen that? Oh, yeah, I know what I did wrong. Let me do it. Let me do it again. They can do it from the learning task when we're actually out there working with them. Other cadets and other students, the instructor, myself and Colonel Baker, or as a schooler of the cadet battalion. When we do our JPA, that's when we get feedback from our higher ups saying how we're doing. Right now, they've told us we were doing pretty well. Hopefully, we'll continue to do that over the next years. You can give them informational feedback. Supports learning and improvement, very specific, includes information about what they did right and wrong, and may reinforce or learning or clarify assignments. Left and right face. All right, I see what you're doing wrong. You're spinning on both your toes. How many of y'all have seen that on an about face? All right, you're spinning on both your toes. Now, let me show you the right way to do that. That is informational feedback. Motivational feedback, encouragement. You know what? You did that great. Let's work on doing it this way. Or just saying, hey, great job, keep doing it. You guys know when I do that. Remember when your first year doing the right and left faces and I said that looked great? Now I want you to do 20 more right faces and then follow it with 20 more left faces. Okay, I'm working on your muscle memory, but I'm also giving you that feedback and encouragement and saying, good job. Now I want you to lock it in. Okay, give them that reason to work for it. Their reason is going to be, I'm going to look good. Take the time now, pause the video, read the characteristics of effective feedback section in your text, write down little notes on yourself, and we're going to talk about exercise 1, rate the feedback. So you're a team leader who likes to have cadets work in pairs. We do that, right? One day, Cadet Richards comes to you and complains about working with Cadet Simmons. He says Simmons slacks off all the time. How many of you have seen that? Well, you've got working with 2 people and one of them just acts like he doesn't want to do it. Richards says he's tired of doing most of the work and wants to be paired with someone other than Simmons. You think about what he said and decide to approach both cadets next time they're together. Feedback. How's it going on, you two? I'm asking because Richards says he's doing most of the work. Simmons, is that true that you're slacking? I'm thinking about assigning each of you a different partner to work with. Sometimes they'll tell you, no, you'll find out that they have a personality conflict. They just don't like each other. One of them dated the other's girlfriend, or the exact opposite. Their personalities are so much alike that they're spending all their time talking and not doing what they need to do. Okay. How about number 2? A member of the team, Ted. Is that feedback appropriate? Can it be improved? All right, so let's look at it. Is it appropriate? Yes and no. Here's where it comes in. you sound like you are favoring one cadet or the other. Richard says he's doing most of the work. Simmons, are you a slacker? Well, now you've just insulted Simmons. Go out there and ask him, all right, guys, how are we doing? Look at it yourself. Take Simmons to the side and work with him. He might not be slacking. He just might not understand what you're working on. You may find out that once it clicks for him, everything comes back together. And we run into that a lot. All right, number 2. Member of your team, Ted, has poor hygiene. Several team members have complained that they don't want to work with him because of his body odor. Feedback, hey, Ted, just curious, when was the last time you took a shower? You know, you might have more friends if you didn't stink so much. Is it effective? Maybe. Is it insulting? Yes. How about talking to Ted, find out things like, oh, I don't know, maybe they don't have running water in the home. Okay? That is a personal thing. Team members have complained they don't want to work with him because of his body odor. Guys, y'all are growing adults. You should all be using deodorant by now. Okay? Just find out, hey, maybe they had gym last period. You're helping a student with math homework. You notice the student repeatedly makes errors with negative exponents, a topic that he should have learned last year. So obviously they didn't learn it, right? You seem to understand how to solve the equations, but you're not always getting the correct answer. It looks like you're having problems with exponents. Would it help if we reviewed the rules of working with negative exponents? He might have been sick that day or that week and just quite didn't understand it. That is absolutely good feedback. That way you're finding out what they know and what they don't know, and you're able to work with them. Younger brother has an overnight scout camping trip. You notice he hasn't packed everything on his list. Feedback, you didn't read your list. You missed a water bottle and flashlight. You should also bring rain gear and extra pair of shoes because it's going to go camping. When I go camping, I always bring books and games too because you never know if you're going to get bored with what other people are doing. Sure, that's good. You're helping mentor your younger brother. You're helping him learn from your experience. Remember, always be encouraging. The last one, your friend Shelly wants to ask John out for a date. You advise her against it because you think John is already dating someone else. Uh-oh. But Shelly has a major crush on John, and she asked him out anyway. So you told her don't do it. She went ahead and did it anyway. John gives her a quick brush off and says he's not interested in ever dating Shelly. Now Shelly's feelings are hurt. All right. Feedback. Shelly, I'm sorry, but you should not have asked him out in the first place. What could he say? Yes, I'll go out with you even though I'm dating someone else. Get a grip, girl, and next time take out my advice. All right. Is this good feedback? First of all, you can't make someone take your advice. Is it good feedback? Yes and no. I mean, if he's already dating somebody else, ask Shelly, do you really think if he cheated on you, that if he cheated on his girlfriend with you, do you think he wouldn't cheat on you later? Okay. Her best bet would be, of course, to sit and wait and see what happens with him. Who knows? She might get over this infatuation. Okay. Get a grip, girl. Next time, take my advice. Or learn to think for yourself. All right. Think about our guidelines for giving feedback. Read the ground rules for giving feedback section in your student text, and then come back to the video. Let's talk about evaluating your feedback. Feedback scoring guide, section 2. Oops, wrong button. There we go. Feedback scoring. Based on your reading and personal experience, create a scoring guide for evaluating feedback. In the left column, we want you to list the criteria for effective feedback. In the right column, choose a way to rate the criteria. The ratings can have a numerical value, are going to be descriptive as met, not met, excellent, very good, good, poor, fail. All right. So just go ahead and make yourself a criteria. Speaks clearly, makes eye contact. That's a good one. Public speaking. Do they say a lot? Do they say okay? I know I say a lot. Like, that is one of the big ones that I see around. See, there you go. One of the big ones I see around teenagers today a lot myself is like. So like when I do like this, then I can like do like, like, and it is very, very distracting when you're grading, like, see, when you're grading senior papers, and I have seen people who put like 3 times in every sentence. It drives me bonkers because I have no idea what they just said because the like is distracting. So what do you think are the 5 most important things about giving feedback? Most effective feedback you've ever received or the least effective? Can you explain the role rapport plays in feedback? Remember, rapport is how you communicate with the other person, your relationship with that other person. Do I communicate better with this person because we're friends, or do I communicate worse with this person because we don't talk to each other at all? Maybe sometimes you don't want to tell your friend that they're doing a poor job because you're afraid of hurting their feelings. All right. It is part of the growing process. I will tell you that some of the least effective feedback that I have ever had personally is when somebody just starts yelling and cursing and screaming at me, or when they start insulting you. A couple of you guys I have seen have that issue where you just want to yell and scream at people. And I will tell you, you can usually tell who you are because you are the ones that are still standing in low ranks, because that is not what leadership is about. That is being a bully. And I will not accept bullies this year. This is your senior year. This is your LET4 year. I need leaders, not bullies. And these LET1s and 2s and 3s, they need leaders, not bullies. So how can we improve our feedback we give others? Let's make it constructive. Hey, you know what? You messed this up. Let's look at why you're not getting it right. Maybe on the rifle team, it turns out that one of their feet is placed wrong and their shots aren't landing right. They're twisting their body instead of getting a natural point of aim. Work with them on that. All right? Drill. Maybe they just need a little bit more extra practice. One of the things I see on drill a lot is when we're making our column right. For instance, we're spinning on that inside foot. Okay, maybe we should do a little bit more practice. Hey, look, make sure you plant that outside foot and then spin towards the inside, not swing your leg around. Feedback scenarios and the best way to respond to it. If you guys want to get together in the Google Meet classroom, by all means, somebody hosts that. I would like to do those if we can. And then finally, your performance assessment task, your met, not met pages at the end. If you have any questions, as always, put them down in the comment box, or you may email me. You guys should all have my email address by now. And that's it for today. Make sure you get those worksheets done and scanned and put into your cadet portfolio.